Hello, it's Carl Darge, Geezers and Gurus at HVAC. This is my friend Mark. Mark got us tickets and found out about this summit, Better Buildings Summit by the Department of Energy. It's a 2022 summit, and this is the agenda and program for it. Was in Arlington, Virginia. Some of the things they talked about, here's something. Energy, you can read that. Energy efficiency and renewable resources is part of it. Here's another one for it too. Is we're decarbonizing HVAC and water heating in commercial buildings. That was a whole seminar. And one of the things they're talking about is using heat pumps to do this. And that's a proven technology, and it's a lot better than it used to be. Looking at it, one of the things too in this whole process too, they're talking about saving water. Water save energy, you can save water too. Water is, yes, because it's, how shall I say, if it's dirty, there has to pay a lot of attention to it to get all the chemicals out and all the dirt out, and that takes a lot of energy to do that. Isn't that correct, Mark?
Yes.
A lot of energy is involved. Also, sitting here in the Detroit area, on 25% of the world's fresh water supply, we don't really consider that much here at all, but I know that the rest of the United States does. And there are places in this country that they are very water challenged, and even more so out west. So everything that we can do to save and not put chemicals into water and save water is a good idea. A lot of times we have a tendency to feel that when the government gets involved here, that things go awry, that they shouldn't be involved. They should leave it up to us. Since 1974, we've had us being the residential part of this whole HVAC systems of all kinds. Us being the residential part of better refrigerators, washers, dryers, and dishwashers, and garbage disposals that use less electricity, fans, and automobiles that we've been buying and using and now going into electric automobiles. Us in the residential field that have insulated and done an awful lot of things. And you know who they are? Well, now becoming up. This commercial building. As long as I've been in this business, which started in the 1950s, when all of this stuff started coming in the 70s, exceptions were given to commercial buildings on a lot of different things. Yes, they did try some things. Did this and that, reflective glass. But you know this, Mark, we're talking about lighting. One of the things isn't that one of the things they talk about, put LED bulbs in these buildings?
Yeah. Yes,
And
yes,
golden
yeah.
green. What else did you find out? What other things that you saw there that they were talking about too? Was energy upgrades, cleaning filters?
Yeah, they were talking about, they talked a lot about solar. They talked a lot about water and the problems it's causing energy-wise. They talked a lot about how to maximize the building's envelope with solar and with LED lighting and a different, variable speed motors. We got into a lot of that kind of stuff with how to save energy. And a lot of these major companies were saving. Some of them were saving 40% of their energy bill over a period. Some of them, if you look at them, they've been being monitored since 2010. And once they monitored, and the Department of Energy monitored them, they realized they were now saving 40% of the energy that they were using back in 2010. And they've done a lot of things to get these buildings better and more efficient. And they have a lot of partners that are huge laboratories and food chains.
Everybody is working together on this.
Yes.
This is not a bunch of guys out there saying, hey, go and duct tape your windows so they're nice and tight. No, this is major corporations across the board working together. Maybe Wendy's found a way of doing something better in their kitchen, and they pass it on to someone else that also does it, and it goes on and on and on. We're talking about places like exercise facilities and that, which use a lot of energy, and how to cut that down and how to make it more efficient. And who wins? We all do. We all do, because by saving that energy, they don't spend it, and it doesn't come back as a cost to them for doing business, so they're saving money. These are permanent savings that we're talking about here. Not a flash in the pan, hey, we saved $25 because we bought something cheap this week. No. This is, when you say 40% reduction in energy, they're not kidding. And here's the other part of it is, there's no going back. There's no saying, no, I don't want to get involved, because this is government mandated. Am I correct?
Yes, they're going to push this whether you like it or not. It's coming our way. It's like people said, well, we're not going to do LED light bulbs. They outlawed the fluorescent tubes. So it's like you don't have a choice. Now you got to buy fluorescent. Now you have to buy LED tubes because the fluorescents are outlawed. And it's like if it's variable speed motors, those things are becoming a norm versus the exception.
Exactly.
And they are pushing those variable speed motors energy-wise.
And this is a part of the stupidity that I see in the business. Variable speed motors, it was announced by United Technologies, Carrier, Bryant, Comfort Maker, Tempstar, and a myriad of other manufacturers all under the same name. They were no longer going to make anything but equipment with the ECM motors in there. And do you know what happened? The same stupid thing that happened when they went from 10 SEER to 13 SEER, when they were getting rid of R22 and all that. Wholesalers bought warehouses full of the old motors because they said their customers wanted to save the extra bucks. The stupidity is astronomically out there, because the simple fact is you're not saving a dime. You actually spent money. When the new motors use 80% less electric, are quieter, and so much better efficiency all the way around. What have you saved your customers? All you did is you stole money from them. Now where are the electric rates and all this thing going now? Are they being stable? Is your electric bill going down? So you need a motor in your furnace you just bought and paid for it here because you got the furnace $40 cheaper. So what are you saving, folks? Stuff that you as a residential person should be able to go out and do this stuff yourself in your own home. These companies are saving a fortune. And in their water. Let's talk about the water, Mark, because these companies are getting on board are not going to pay the carbon tax, and they're saving money across the board, permanent. I will say this, a lot of the things they're going to be putting in haven't even been invented yet. They're still working on it. The manufacturers were there too. One of the biggest problems that we're going to have is to try to replace steam, because steam is not energy efficient. It's a safe way of moving massive amounts of heat. Why put a Vulcan on in a commercial building? What is the use for it? People just flush the toilet, they wash their hands. Why do that? Go ahead, Mark. Why?
Well, the Vulcan system, what I learned at the conference was that you don't think about it, but as your equipment is getting plugged, the pumps that are supplying the water to that machine now works sometimes 75 to 80% harder in order to get that same pressure through the machine. It's going to keep doing its job. It's just going to work harder doing it, and it's going to blow the machine out. And I've got buildings here in Michigan where the fans that use to push the water up, the pumps that use to push water up to the higher floors, those fans burn out because the water is so hard and it takes so much more energy to keep pushing those up to where the fans burn out. It's not a big deal, except if you're on the 18th floor and you can't get water, or your water pressure's down to a trickle. Then you want to say, whoa, what's going on here? We're looking at the energy from all sides. The more efficiently a motor can run, the better it's going to perform for you energy-wise and satisfaction to the customer.
And there are no real answers out there. So you guys out there in the heating and cooling business, this is your real golden opportunity to not only make yourself a ton of money. There's a lot of problems that need to be addressed here and need to be addressed quickly. And everybody's working at this thing from all kinds of directions. Remember, a lot of the products we're using right now here today weren't around before. Mark's product is one of those. That's just the start of it. We need a lot of people involved. And we would like to hear from you. And to get this thing kicked off, we're going to do a couple more podcasts. Okay, we're going to drop it right here and there for now.